This election year was already expected to be a very busy one here in Minnesota, with a number of high-profile congressional races, the governor's race, and Senator Amy Klobuchar's bid for re-election. But with the sudden resignation of Senator Al Franken, there will be a second U.S. Senate race on the ballot, and Senator Tina Smith, who was sworn in just days ago, will be running to keep that seat. And joining us right now is the new senator from Minnesota, Tina Smith. Senator Smith, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you, Esme. It's very nice to be here today. The weather is improving and, it looks good.
It absolutely does look great. Let me ask you about this. There is right now a national debate about Mr. Trump, about the presidency. Do you feel the president is fit to hold office?
Well, I think the president should stop tweeting. I think that being president is a role of dignity, and he should behave in a dignified way. And, beyond that, I have enough work to do moving into my job, and that's what I'm just totally focused on.
Okay. All right, now in 4 days, you have literally gone around the state. You've been in Chisago County, you've been all over the Iron Range, Duluth, St. Paul last night. What is your takeaway from these first few days as a United States Senator back in Minnesota?
Well, it was great to come back to Minnesota on Friday morning, and first thing we did is we visited a women-owned metal fabricating, steel plate fabricating company in Wyoming, Minnesota, and we talked about how important it is to have a strong workforce in Minnesota. So here's a great company that is working really hard to find people that are trained to fill the jobs that they're creating. And that is something I'm going to take back to Washington right away. We should not be cutting the training programs that are training Minnesotans to fill the jobs that Wyoming Machine is creating right now.
All right, going forward here, what is going to be your priority or priorities in the United States Senate?
Well, I am building on what I did as Lieutenant Governor. I have been a fierce advocate for Minnesota as Lieutenant Governor, focusing on issues like tax fairness and economic opportunity for everywhere in Minnesota. So I think you should expect to see me working on those issues at the national level. Issues like rural broadband. We talked about this when I was on the range yesterday, I think it was. If you don't have access to broadband in rural Minnesota, you're not connected to the 21st century. I expect to work hard on issues like childcare and high quality preschool programs, because if you're a mom and you don't have a good quality, wonderful place to take your child, or if you're a dad too, you can't work. These are the issues that I think we can really make headway on, and I'm going to be focused on those.
Right. You have to run for election in just less than 10 months. It's estimated this race is going to cost $25 million. How much time are you going to have to spend fundraising versus how much time you're going to actually be working in the U.S. Senate, because you have such a short window to run in?
Yeah. Well, elections cost too much, and I think that this is a problem that we have in our country. But that's the way it is. I think, and I said this when I was first accepting Governor Dayton's appointment, I think the most important thing that I can do, honestly, is to be the best senator that I can be these next 10 months. And it is, that's why I'm so focused on kind of hitting the ground running, yes, last week and this week. And I mean, it'll be a lot of work, but I'm a hard worker. And I've faced other challenges in my life, and I'm ready for it.
When we talk about Greater Minnesota, that's where you've been the past few days. Going back to that 2016 election, Donald Trump almost won this state because of his strength in Greater Minnesota, reflecting a dissatisfaction with the kinds of jobs and economic opportunities that are out there. Tell me about that, and are you concerned that you can hold that Iron Range, that outstate Minnesota area?
Yeah, well, so here's a story that I think really gets at that. On Saturday morning, I met with a group of Minnesota retirees. So these are people that you might think of as potentially people who supported Governor and President Trump. So here are these retirees. They have paid their money into their pensions. They worked hard. They followed all the rules. And now the question is whether those pensions are going to be there for them now that they're retired. And they are worried. I talked to this one woman who retired. Her husband has Parkinson's disease. And she says, if I lose this pension and then the president also cuts Medicaid and Social Security, I will literally be living under a bridge. So to answer your question, I think that some of those people are looking at what the president has done and are asking themselves, where's the accountability? Where is he filling some of these promises he made to look out for working people when he's actually been doing the opposite?
All right. Well, Senator Tina Smith, thank you so much for coming in. There is one candidate on the Republican side, Senator Karin Housley, state senator. We expect to have her on very soon. And there may be other candidates on that other side as well. We'll have them on if they announce. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks for being here. It's wonderful to talk with you.
All right. Absolutely.